Welcome to Cloud Pink Podcast. I'm Atlas.
I'm Samik.
And this is part 4 of our story.
So for those of you who are here for the first time, first of all, thanks for being here.
Yes.
We really appreciate you. So if you haven't already, go watch the rest of the episodes. We try to be entertaining with our story. I'm from India. She's from the US, and this is our little interracial overseas relationship. And I hope you find it interesting.
So where we left off in the story, we had decided to leave Bangalore and go to Europe.
That was fun.
Yeah, but you had to get a Schengen visa.
Yeah, so if you're an Indian citizen, you have to get a visa where you go in person, give your fingerprints, all that stuff, and you have to have your tickets ready. And you don't know if you're going to get a visa or not.
Right. It's so stupid. So we had to book tickets before the visa was ready.
Yeah.
And then when the tickets came, when it came time, your visa wasn't ready yet.
Yeah. It was taking 4 more days or something.
And so we actually woke up that morning and we were thinking, I'll just go and he'll meet me a few days later.
Yeah. So just for reference, our flight was from Delhi. And we had already traveled
Vienna.
to Delhi to Vienna, yeah, with the stop in Kiev, Ukraine.
So we were in Delhi, and when we woke up, I was supposed to go to the airport, but I literally woke up sobbing, and I couldn't stop crying, and it was so dramatic. And I remember I called my mom, and I was like, I don't know what it is. Something just feels wrong, and I just can't stop crying. And I'm not really a big crier. I don't cry that often. So it did feel really strange.
Yeah, it was.
I
was like...
And I couldn't stop it at all. I couldn't calm down.
I was like, girl, costing me a lot of money with this ticket cancellation. But we did. So I
didn't go.
So I
always trust my
rescheduled...
intuition.
I rescheduled my ticket to 4 days later. And the other kerfuffle was that my passport was supposed to be mailed to my house in Bangalore. And now I'm sitting in Delhi. I was trying to get in touch with them, figure it out, how they can hold it in Delhi for me to pick up. But with all of this in the air and a lot of emotional stuff we were going through, and after, being closer after our previous instance where we had a lot of energy play going on with
Black magic and all.
Black magic and all.
Yeah. Finally we had broken that. So we were like...
Yeah. So Delhi was hot as shit, as always.
Yeah.
So we decided to go up to Bagsu, which is it's a sweet little town, a lot of travelers. You had been there before.
And I loved it. So actually, the way I remember it, we were thinking, you know what, this whole thing isn't going to work out. The visa, the whatever, let's just go to Bagsu. So we took I think it's a 14-hour bus or something, and then, some walking and things like that to get there. And we ended up staying one night at that homestay that I had been at before. Remember she slut-shamed me towards you? She was
but getting there, for people who've been to the Himalayas in those buses, oh, man.
Oh, yeah. It's the craziest shit ever.
It's the scariest
Go on
ride.
YouTube and watch, just search, crazy Indian bus ride Himalayas.
You'll see.
It really
basically
is,
single,
that much of a
maybe
death
a little
trap.
more than a single lane road. And, I mean, you're up, your elevations usually...
And they just whip around. They're just
you're at,
mountain on this side,
3,000 meters,
side.
12,000 feet, and they're still driving like a maniac.
The first time I had gone there, I went with my friend Liv, and I was she told me that I was sleeping, and apparently I was sleeping like this.
I mean, even this time,
we
left in the afternoon, and it was a shady bus ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
oh yeah, it was so shit. They were dealing drugs.
We assume.
They were.
They were also dropping off supplies for local villagers.
Right, supplies with drugs in them. I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be Mm, I don't know. It was supposed to be like 4 or 5 hours shorter than it actually was. And I remember they stopped at temples and were dealing drugs through the temples.
I don't know about that.
You agreed with me at the time.
Yeah, well, I
What, you just don't
assume.
want to say it now? Yeah.
Don't cancel me.
Whatever, that's what happened.
And we assume.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So
All opinions based like that we're saying are our own opinions, not associated with anything else. For the companies
you're
we work
giving a
for,
Bollywood disclaimer?
yeah, no animals were hurt during the shooting of this podcast.
So basically, it took forever. It's really scary, risking life and limb. And then
You were sleeping in that too, like.
remember, okay, so the homestay that we had gone to also, I had gone there before with my friends. I had stayed there for like a couple months. And then,
With your travel fling, actually. She told me that.
right. But that was actually like when I was staying there,
Uh-huh.
that person was also just a friend. Like actually nothing happened at her homestay or whatever. But she she like told you like, this girl's such a slut. She brings different guys.
Whatever. So yeah, we stayed up there. It was beautiful, beautiful area because right down from there is McLeodganj, where the monastery of the Dalai Lama is.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
I saw him
little
there
town.
once.
And then guess what? My visa came through, and they were gonna mail my passport to Bangalore, and I had to contact them. I was like, hold it in Delhi, and because I had rebooked a flight 4 days later and the visa came through, I was like, oh, we have to make this flight and we can't cancel it.
Yeah. So we actually literally spent less than 12 hours in Dharamshala.
No. In Bagsu, we spent
Yeah.
about 14 hours.
And then we left and went back to
we
Delhi.
did that whole trip.
Risk life and limb going back down.
Yeah, and then the crazy part was we got to Delhi in the morning because we left in the evening, took the bus early morning, we got there. And my sister's ex actually had secured my passport for me. I had to write a whole letter, give my ID, whatever, and they gave it to him.
We did get on these flights.
Yeah, and then we got there early morning, grabbed the passport from my sister, and rushed to the airport. We're running, and we made it on time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were stopped in Kiev. I don't know, what a weird airport.
We were?
Kiev. Yeah, in Ukraine, remember?
No, I don't remember this.
We
I do. And that's the
No
second
one was
time.
being helpful.
Yeah, this is like a whole nother story, but this is
You want to say a little bit about your story of
Well,
that?
when
That'd
I
be
was-
interesting.
Yeah, so when I was 18, the first time I left the country, I flew to London and I had a layover in Kiev and I was deported from London. They held me in a facility for like a couple days and then
Couple days
Yeah.
in London?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was a couple days.
Oh yeah. It was.
Where did you sleep?
At this like facility at one part
They
and
had
in
beds.
this and in this like weird part of the airport.
I
at
always
first.
thought it was like a day.
I'm not like entirely sure because I didn't really see the outside much. And also
What
like
did they say?
you know when you're
Backpacking
going
is
from
dead,
the
my
US, what?
love. Backpacking is dead, my love.
Yeah, that's what they said. So like when you fly also from, the US to Europe or whatever and then you're in a facility for a long time, you don't really know like how much time is passing.
Yeah.
All I knew
I
is-
know those facilities. Trust me, I've been in there.
All I knew is I wanted a cigarette so bad, like you know what I mean? So basically, when they deported me, they like put me back on the plane and they were like, as I was getting on the plane, they were like, by the way, this is to Kiev. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, if you're going to deport me properly. Like, send me back to the States,
Yeah.
And they were just like, yeah, no, you're Ukraine's problem now. And when I got to Kiev, like, I was just trapped in this weird part of the airport that, like, I don't know, didn't make sense. And I got there at, like, 4 a.m. And nobody was, like, with me. Like, nobody was, like, this girl or whatever. It was literally just, like, they had taken my passport during the flight and stuff. And then, like, given it back or, I don't know. And then I was just, like, what do I do? Like, this is so weird. I wasn't in the normal part, of the airport.
You were in detentions,
No,
probably.
I wasn't there either. I was just like walking around and no one was around. It was so strange. And then at around 8 o'clock, like people started coming to work, and I was asking people like, hey, like, I was deported to here. Like, what do you want me to do? And everyone would just be like, not my job, not my job. And I found this phone, and it was saying like, to call the embassy. So it had like a list of, how to call each embassy. So I was trying to call the American embassy. The phone wouldn't work. I asked somebody, hey, the phone doesn't work. Not my job. I was like, oh my God. And they literally were just not going to do anything with me until I flipped out and started crying. And I'm all saying I'm not a crier. I'm going to like tell so many times that I started crying dramatically in this. And I just started crying and was like, just freaking out, like, you know what I mean? I was,
yeah, it's a scary
but I was
situation.
genuinely like,
You're 18.
Yeah.
Like, that is a scary situation.
yeah, it took me like 3 days to cry. And then I was like crying like crazy because I was getting scared at that point.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen to me?
What the fuck is wrong with the British? Like, they go to barge into every country.
Yeah.
And then take whatever they could. And then, like, they have such strict, like, policies for you to get into their country.
They were,
fuck that.
Yeah, they were deported. There was a lot of other people that got deported too from like all over the place. And so I got let into the normal part of the airport because they were just like, I don't know, just put this crying girl somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And I went to the airline and like, I was just like, I don't know, like I was deported. Apparently, like you have to send me back to the US. And she goes, it's not our job to fund your travels all over the world. I was like, what? And I was freaking out. My phone didn't work. I hadn't eaten, hadn't had water, hadn't smoked, hadn't slept in a long time. And I just, like, yeah, I'd never left the country until now. So I was just like freaking out. And I actually like just kept kind of freaking out. In retrospect, I know what I would do now, but I eventually like just asked if I could use this phone, and this lady like let me use this like crazy like international phone. And I called my mom, and I was just like, I'm stuck in Kiev, and my mom's like, oh my fucking God. Like and then I was talking to my mom on the phone for a while, and we were just like trying to figure out what should I do. And those people had said like they're not going to send me back, and I wasn't allowed outside either, so I couldn't just like leave the airport either. And then all of a sudden the lady comes over who gave me the phone, and she takes the phone and she starts grabbing my bag off of my shoulder. I was like, what? And then she just hands me this ticket, and she's like, go get on the plane right now.
And that's how you got back to the U.S.
Yeah, that's how I ended up living in New York, because my flight was from New York, and that's where I was deported to, so I just stayed there. But anyway.
Yeah, going back to our story.
So I do actually remember that we were there, and I was like, this is where I like had
the only one person that was really nice and helpful was the person at the restaurant.
Yeah.
At the airport. That was really nice. Well, however,
it's just a different culture. Like,
we made it to Vienna. Oh my gosh, Vienna is a beautiful city.
It is. It's so clean.
It's so clean.
Looks like you could just eat off of the floor.
Some people are
like
different in their opinion about Vienna. People say it's like dirty. It's one of the cleanest places I've ever been to.
I don't know where you're from if you think Vienna is dirty. Like, are you from Antarctica? Like, what? But we stayed at couch surfing. That guy was really nice.
Yeah, for one night. That guy was.
I don't know if couch surfing is still a thing these days, but.
Yeah, I always freak out about that kind of thing. That was my first time doing that. I was hyper aware the whole night. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then he was so sweet. He had like these amazing
he gave us, like, crepes
strawberries and crepes and the grease pudding. That's like a semolina pudding, pretty common in Austria, Germany.
That's like my favorite European food, honestly.
Oh, that's so good.
Like I have never gotten anywhere outside of Europe.
Yeah, it's just semolina pudding. You made it with rice too.
Yeah, we're gonna order some on there.
And then So we were what, 21, 22 years
Mhm.
old. So yeah, we didn't have a lot of money. We had a little bit because I had just made some from business, and I was like, yeah, let's do this. So we decided to do a work away so it could
Yeah.
save us money for staying while we travel. Now
We
we
thought it
had,
would be fun. We
yeah,
thought.
we had we had two workaways planned, but then in Villach, Austria, but we couldn't make it to that on time, so we ended up going to the one in Italy.
Northern
So
Italy in the
yeah,
mountains.
so
It was so beautiful
yeah,
there.
we were supposed to meet your mom's friend in Graz.
We did.
Yeah, and we did meet. Yeah, of course. So
Yeah.
we made our way away from Vienna to Graz, but we were like, oh yeah, we're just gonna hitch. We're just gonna hitchhike to Graz, and
And
it
we
was
did.
tough. We did, yes, I know. But it was, you know how many hours we stood there for by the city,
Like
and then
5.
yeah, and then this.
But the thing is, we were standing in the wrong spot.
Yeah, then this guy dropped us to a gas station by the freeway,
And he
he's
was like,
up
stand
by
there.
the Autobahn, and he's
Yeah.
like, stand there.
And then we got a ride within like an hour.
there was this Iraqi guy.
Yeah.
I remember his name, Heather. He gave us a ride all the way to Graz.
And remember, it was during Ramadan, and he was fasting.
Yeah, and then he stopped to break his fast. We
Yeah.
got to Graz. We were at the
Which,
bus
by
station.
the way, Ramadan in Europe during the summer is so hard because
That's a lot of hours.
It doesn't get dark until like 11,
Oh yeah, exactly.
and it gets
bright
light at like 3. That gives you like
20 hours of fasting. That's a
yeah,
lot.
insane. So he was really, really, really amazing.
Have to
for
give it to
doing
their
that.
faith.
Yeah.
And then he got us there. We were at this bus station, and then there was no buses going out in the night, and we were trying to relax at the bus station, and then there was these drunk people that came to remember those idiots, and then we walked away from there. They were just like,
We were thinking we were gonna like sleep on the bench or something.
yeah, because we couldn't go inside the bus station.
I remember we just ended up walking around for hours trying to find somewhere, and then eventually like found a hostel.
Yeah, we found a
Somebody,
hostel
like,
with
showed-
was he from Libya or Syria?
Syria.
Malik, his name was.
Yeah.
Oh, we stopped because those guys were so weird. The drunk people at the bus
Yeah.
station, that we thought they were following us. So we ended up it was like 2 a.m. and we ended up by this Middle Eastern restaurant. They fed us for free. They did not want to take money. And then this guy,
forgot about that.
yeah, this guy walked us around while he made his little YouTube lives or whatever he was making. And then he made sure we got to a hostel,
Yeah.
and we stayed there. In the morning, we met your mom's friend, had some good time.
In Austria, actually, like, there was a lot of people that were like really kind and showed us things. A lot of like Muslim camaraderie too. Like, so many Muslim people were so like generous and sweet with us and
Yeah.
like helped us. But that guy
those refugees.
yeah. And yeah, I remember just feeling like they all had like these craziest stories of like these hardest shit ever that they've
Yeah.
been through, and they were just like so
So,
generous and sweet.
Side note, fuck the people and politicians who say that immigrants make it worse for people.
Yeah,
Those guys,
yeah.
yeah, fuck them.
No,
Fuck them.
that is the wrongest thing that could possibly ever be said.
Yeah, or call us peasants. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, you're
Big fuck
fucking
you to
lucky.
you guys.
Yeah, you're fucking lucky if you have people coming from other places and living.
I mean, these
especially if they're
privileged
coming from
assholes
harder
have never
places.
lived a day like that.
Right.
And they talk about it. The audacity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously.
So Malik, really appreciate if he's ever seeing this.
Ooh.
And yeah, and we met your mom's friend next day. Had some.
She
good
was
food.
also so sweet.
yeah.
She gave us 125 euros.
And booked our train.
And we were like,
She booked our
oh
train
yeah, that was so nice. To Florence.
No,
To
we were
Milan?
supposed to end up at that's the part of the story. We were supposed to go to Milan and then up in the Italian Alps to do
get
our
the work away.
Yeah, that was in Darfur, Angola Terme. It's close to Darfur Barrio. We got on the train. We had to switch trains in Austria. We did that and we're sleeping and we're in Italy at this point. In the morning at 6 o'clock, this ticket collector comes in and he's like, give me a ticket. I give him the ticket. And he's like, you were supposed to go to Milan. You're going to end up in Florence.
Yeah.
You're on the wrong train. I was like, oh, no.
No, I think we just missed the stop.
No, we didn't miss a stop. We took the wrong connection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so
they
then we
checked
had a-
our ticket and it was fine at first. I don't know. So
He was nice though, I think.
he was nice. But we got off in Florence, and what a beautiful city.
Seriously. I was so glad that happened because Florence is one of the coolest things.
Yeah, we were in
That we
Florence,
saw.
walked around all day, ate some food, listened to some good Italian music playing around, and then we
Yeah.
got a bus from there up to
The
Darfo,
Yeah.
Brescia.
yeah.
And then from there is the homie picked us up, the workaway guy.
I wouldn't
This
call him
workaway,
homie.
this workaway was in one of the most beautiful places we've ever seen.
Seriously.
But
When you think of
it's a town of 300 people.
when you think
Okay.
of like beautiful European scenery, like postcard, like this town, we
Yeah.
were in the postcard.
So Angolo Terme, where we were doing the workaway, was a restaurant right by
Like
the
on a little
lake.
farm. Like
Yeah, artichoke farm.
yeah.
And he had other things too. Cherries. We pitted cherries and picked those, yeah. But it was
The
right by
workaway
this
terms are
lake. So
basically actually if you don't know what a workaway is, this is helpful. So basically you work 25 hours a week and they give you food and stay.
yeah, or less, depends. Every host has a different requirement.
Right, but I think the platform's maximum is 25.
Yeah.
And they give you food, stay, and in this case wine.
A lot
Lots
of wine.
Italian wine.
And
yeah.
beer too.
So that was fine at first and it was fun. Like we worked at the restaurant, we worked in his yard, like his little farm thing.
And he was moving his restaurant from his one property to the other
Yeah.
up the street. And this guy basically owns acreage on these hills that sit right by a lake, the Lago Moro.
Very like valuable spot.
Oh my gosh, such a beautiful lake too.
Yeah.
Oh, we
We'll
had
put
some-
pictures on the YouTube. Come to the YouTube to see the pictures, but
we had an amazing time there.
oh yeah, we had so much fun. Like after we're done working, we would just like fill up water bottles of wine and just like walk down to the lake and
And
go
we stole
swimming.
pie from the restaurant one day.
Yeah.
That pie was good.
Yeah. And we would just like swim in the lake and hang out and we would like sneak up in the woods and like have sex where people couldn't see.
I didn't say that.
We can always cut it out if you want.
No, it's fine.
Okay. And then so the workaway, I think we were supposed to be there for like a month, but we cut it after 2 weeks. So as the time went on, like he started feeding us less and like working us harder, like expecting us to do like harder and harder like things.
And all frozen food that from his restaurant.
Yeah, like
And we don't eat pork, so there was that issue too because they eat a lot of pork.
but he started treating us like really shitty.
Yeah.
And we were like, is he racist? Like, what's going on? Like, I don't know why he's treating us shitty. And at the time, like,
He called me the Indian.
yeah. And I was like the Americano or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I think he referred to everyone by their,
No, he referred to the other freaking
Germans?
missionary guy that was there from the U.S. too. Him by name.
oh.
Yeah.
So just we were our
And
nationality.
so there was like people from different places and everyone's talking their own languages.
Yeah.
And you were teaching me
ASL,
ASL,
yeah.
and we would communicate in that.
Because at the time, like, it had been not that long since my ex and I were together, who was deaf, and I had learned ASL from her. So I was, like, more accustomed to using it. So, and he just picks up languages so fast. So we would be, like, practicing in ASL a lot and, like, using it, as well as just English and Hindi that I've been, working on learning too. And apparently, like, he was really offended by our use of ASL, but we didn't find that out until the end because we were like, yeah, I think the last day when we were like, let's for sure cut off this relationship is he had invited the German people to his house to make
And the
pizza.
missionary from the U.S. They all got pizza together while we ate.
Homemade Italian pizza.
Yeah, while we ate some frozen, disgusting food.
Like, no, I remember
That he
he
gave us.
actually brought us a bag of literally
Stale bread.
bread. And he was just like, here, like, stale bread. Like, fuck you.
We didn't
And we were
mean to
working
offend
really
anyone
hard.
with ASL too. So what
Yeah,
happened?
obviously.
So
we would just use it sometimes.
we were like, yeah, we're just gonna leave. We pack up, and he took us to the train station.
Yeah, so on the way I was like, by the way, like, what did we do to offend you? Like, why did you stop liking us and start treating us like shit, basically? And he goes, "Are you talking with the hands?"
What
With his
is-
hands, like an Italian, you know? like,
Look at the irony. Like, you talk
you talking with the hands.
while they talk with the hands all the time, and we explained that we're using sign language, whatever, and then
And you know the really confusing part about it to me was they were talking in Italian, then the Germans were talking in German, and we were talking in like English and sometimes ASL. But apparently the ASL was like offensive. So
yeah. So that was that. That ended our trip in Italy shortly after.
and we
And
went
then
to
Milan-
Berlin.
Yeah, we went to Milan from there, and then to
Berlin's one of my
Berlin.
favorite cities.
Berlin is amazing. So much going on.
And speaking of Dharamshala, when I was there before in Bagsu, I was traveling with my friend Liv and my friend Leo, who's from Berlin. And so we hit up Leo to go stay in Berlin, and he hosted us for like
His
2 or
sister,
3 weeks.
his sister was traveling, so we used her apartment. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, we had a lot of fun in Berlin. And at this point, we were running out of money. Berlin was kind of expensive.
Yeah.
So we were running out of money, and you had been to Vietnam.
Yeah, so before we met, like right before we met, I had been in Vietnam for a month because I was invited to teach a dance workshop at a festival there, which was so fun. And I ended up making so many friends and having such a good time. And a lot of people there were working teaching English. So I knew that there's like a ton of work available and that it's like a fucking cool place.
Yeah, and like we would probably like not spend as much as we spending in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Though we never
I
paid for
cannot
stay.
even calculate what the freaking difference is. So much cheaper in Vietnam.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a meal is like $1.
Yeah, some good food
Oh,
for
yeah.
$1.
A homestay for a night is like
Yeah.
$10.
A nice homestay too. You could get hostels in Vietnam for $1 a night.
Yeah, or 2.
Yeah. So yeah, we flew to Vietnam. That was an interesting journey. We took what airlines was it? Scoot?
Yeah. Oh, it was
Never
bad.
go on that airline, guys. You do not need to go through that humiliation.
Yeah.
They-
I remember like we couldn't get water on the flight.
Yeah, they wouldn't give us water. I had
And
to
then-
fight them for it.
And like you had to pay like $5.
And
for
they won't accept a
small
debit
bottle.
card if
Yeah.
you try to pay.
Yeah, so we couldn't buy any. It was
Yeah.
just humiliating. So, or not humiliating, but like annoying, like so
Yeah.
deeply uncomfortable. So, anyway, we fly into Saigon, Ho Chi Minh City, for those who don't know.
Nice city.
And I was sick, and
Yeah.
you went out to get like whatever we needed.
Oh, you're talking about the time I got attacked. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that was crazy. This is unbelievable, actually. If straight out of a martial arts movie,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's,
And it's so unusual for Vietnam because
people are so nice. So
there's not a lot of violence there generally.
FYI, we've never seen homeless people in Vietnam.
Never.
Never. So in Saigon, I was at this market and I was grabbing food, and this lady in the Vietnamese hat, you know, those hats are so cool.
Yeah.
Comes and I turn around and she whips her hair and there was some sharp object in it.
Like razor blades.
Yeah,
right?
probably. Yeah, like it literally looked like surgical blades.
Yeah. Fucking crazy.
And then
she like whipped it at you, right?
yeah, whipped it at
And you
me.
said you went like Matrix style, like
Yeah,
"Whoa."
literally my reflexes kicked in. So if you guys don't know, I'm actually trained in a few martial arts. So
he's really good.
and MMA. So my reflexes naturally kicked in from years of training, and then I basically diffused the situation, got in control, and then her son or whoever it was came and like I kind of put him down to the ground too.
Well, didn't he try to kick you?
Yeah, he tried to kick me, and I like put them like caught his leg like with my foot on his neck, and yeah, I put them on the ground. And people in the market were like, "Yeah, you go. We'll take care of this," which was nice. And after that, I started walking back
didn't
home.
they tell you like, yeah, they're crazy? Like,
Yeah,
they knew.
that's the
you know?
craziest people I've seen in Vietnam. Hi, Op.
This is Op,
This is Op. She's excited. I hope she doesn't.
which
poop
her
on me.
intro is coming soon in the story.
Yeah, she's Vietnamese, by the way. There's a whole love story there.
Get comfy.
Hop, come on. How old are you now?
8 or 9.
8 or 9. Wow.
I
We've had her
know.
since she was like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, after that we go. We didn't intend to stay in Saigon because Atlas had been in Hanoi. She had friends there, and we were for a week. We stayed in Saigon, and then we bought a motorbike. People who've been to Vietnam or Saigon, do you know the Bui Vien Street? I'm sure you do. It's trashy.
Oh yeah.
Bui Vien
That's
is
like the
Khao San Road of Saigon.
Yes.
Bui Vien Street is so trashy. People are doing those balloons, knocking themselves out.
No, actually, it's 20,000 times worse than Khao San Road.
Yeah, absolutely. So I bought a motorbike there. Guess how much I paid? $160 for a motorbike that we had for 2 years in Vietnam.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of money on it over time, but it was really not a lot.
Yep, bought it for $200 or $160.
$160, bought it, packed up everything. You know, we had those little I installed a carrier in the back, wrapped up our suitcases, stayed in the Airbnb for another day, and then left. We were making our journey from Saigon or Ho Chi Minh to Hanoi. Now,
basically southern point to northern point.
Yeah, this was May, June, around. No, actually, this was July because we were
monsoon
in
season.
Europe in May and June. So monsoon season, we didn't even really realize as much. I come from a place where there's pretty intense monsoon. I should have realized, right? But we got on the bike. We made our journey. First stop we wanted to make was, we made a little plan. It was in Mui Ne. Mui Ne is a coastal city. It's like beautiful. There's
on
sand
one
dunes.
side, you see the ocean, and on the other side, you just see desert, sand dunes. It's a trippy place.
So on our way to Mui Ne, there was this. The FIFA World Cup was going on in 2018. So we stopped on the side of the freeway for a second to pull up the map, and there was gravel on our road. And we started our bike, and suddenly dogs start chasing us.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And we started
dogs cause so many bike accidents.
So because there was gravel,
we just ate shit.
We ate shit, and we fell on the middle of the freeway from the gravel. Side of the highway, right? Highway or freeway, whatever you call it. There was a truck coming through. Luckily, we got him in time. Right close to that was a restaurant where everyone was watching.
Like a bar.
Yeah, bar restaurant situation where everyone was drinking beers
and
in
watching
their hammocks,
FIFA.
Watching FIFA.
Yeah.
We fell down, and then it was funny. People were so into their game that they
barely even noticed.
Yeah, they barely noticed.
Well, we went into
we were wrecked up.
Yeah,
wow.
we were. Oof. There was like some blood going on and things, and we like went in the bar and we were just like looking for like some help or whatever, and everybody was so preoccupied watching the game they were just like, I barely care. But like one person, like you had blood dripping all the way down your arm, and one person brought us like one little Band-Aid.
Sorry for my ashy elbows. Taking care of it right now, but you can see all the marks from it here too. Yeah, I was my ribs were all messed up.
You took the brunt of it. I had something like
And then guess what? Those people got up and started fixing the headlight on our motorbike.
Yeah, once they saw the bike was messed up, they were like, "Oh, we gotta help these
They
guys
just
out."
grabbed tape and started wrapping the shit up. Corrected the
Like
handle.
6 guys were just like, "We're fixing your bike right now," but they didn't really care that we were hurt. Which was just so funny.
We left after that in a lot of pain. We made it to Moine. We stayed at this nice little hotel with the swimming pool.
I remember we drove for like 6 hours in that state, I think.
Yeah, no, not after that. Moine was not. We made it in the middle of the night there and rested there for a couple days. We didn't want to, but people who are going to Vietnam and gonna do this whole journey on the motorbike.
Moine is Cop Central.
Yes, exactly. That's the one place where you, as a foreigner, are going to get stopped.
And you're gonna
wear
have
your
to
helmet, regardless of anything. Wear your helmet.
You're gonna have to pay.
And you're gonna have to pay, even if you have an international driver's permit. Do not get your permit out and hand it to them. Just show it to them and keep it on you. Okay? Or because they're gonna just ask for money, which they did, and we gave them like $40 and we left.
Yeah, that's $1 million dong though.
$1 million dong, yes. And after that, we made our way up. We made a few stops along the way. It's really interesting. The scenery going.
What's
up to
that
Vietnam
place?
is beautiful.
Dalat, right?
Yeah, we went to Dalat after that. We stopped somewhere in the middle, but then we made it to Dalat.
Which is
Dalat.
like a mountain town.
So beautiful.
Really pretty. But it was so packed full of like
tourists. It was close to the Mid-Autumn Festival.
And not just foreign tourists. I mean, Vietnamese tourists, foreign tourists, all kinds of tourists. Because it's so like cool there. So
it's a hill station.
Yeah, so people go a lot to like cool down and nice weather. And
we stayed in Dalat for like 6 days.
But we left in the end because every single night
we had to change
hotels or hostels or homestays because it was so packed. There were so many reservations. Couldn't get one. So, and then we left. What was the next place we went to?
We stopped in Nha Trang for a day. Because Dalat, now from Mui Ne to Dalat, you go a little more inland and up in the hills, then down again towards the coast to go to Hanoi. So there was Nha Trang, which is a coastal city. We stayed there a night. And after this, though, after we passed like south of Vietnam,
we got getting
more
central.
It started.
The monsoon started hitting
hard. And you know, it's quite dangerous because there's motorcycle lanes. There is your car lane. You go on the motorcycle lane as you're asked to, but then there's going to be a little kid coming that electric freaking on the wrong electric
way.
Scooter on the wrong way and without headlights.
Yeah, there will be also like random bricks like in the way.
There was so many instances where we could have died.
Oh yeah, so many. Like and you know, monsoon is not rain. It is rain's dad. Like it's the daddy of rain. It's like it's just crazy. And I remember like that one night we were going, and it was just coming down so hard. And we like pulled off and we were just looking for somewhere to pull off. And we finally found this weird little spot and like so many people had also pulled off there and waited out.
And then we got out of there and we found this insanely beautiful cafe. It was I forget where it was, but it was like these little huts kind of cafe. That was really beautiful.
I don't remember. I mean, there's so many
and then it
places
stopped
like that
raining
all
a
over
bit.
Vietnam.
They helped us like dry our stuff in front of fans. That was good.
Yeah.
And then we got on there on the motorbike again, started leaving. We went to Da Nang after that.
Oh yeah.
Da Nang is beautiful with all those dragon bridges. One of the most famous things is this was under construction when we went there. It was the hand holding the bridge. It's like an amusement park or something.
Yeah, we weren't able to see it because it was like
under construction. Yeah. And then we went to the Marble Mountains in Da Nang though. That was amazing.
That was cool.
We could put some pictures if we find some.
Yeah. Remember that one night also we were driving on the freeway and all of a sudden there was like a toll station.
Oh,
but it was not lit up.
That was after Da Nang.
And it was not lit up. And so we drive basically into it before we see it because it was completely dark.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Because
remember if it was
motorbike
raining.
lanes are supposed to not have that tall like barrier, like barricade,
Right.
so you could just pass through. But this one did.
It had it, and there was no lights on it, no reflectors, nothing. And so when you saw it, you were like, it was like 2 feet in front of you, and you went like
Not
this,
2 feet,
like,
a few more feet there. Yeah.
okay, but it was like right there, like, and we were going pretty full speed because you didn't think it was gonna be there. So I remember like all of a sudden you go like, boom, like fling your body to the side, and then I see it right in time and fling my body to the side, and then
We basically told the motorbike
we basically
away from
just
the
go
barricade.
under it.
Yeah,
like
like essentially, like right next to it, there was some space, but enough for us to get through.
and we were like,
Ooh.
that almost killed us.
Yeah, that would have ruptured something.
Yeah. There was all kinds of just like shit like that. Like,
Yeah, it was a tough time. We were having fun in that too. It was just,
oh yeah, it was fun.
It was more like 22, 21.
It would have been more fun if it wasn't monsoon season.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been maybe less
Like,
intense. So I like the intensity of it for the story and everything.
it's just a beautiful, beautiful place to be. I miss Vietnam so dearly.
But me
so
too.
Deeply. It has the most special place in my heart.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Vietnam is, I don't know. I cannot tell you enough how beautiful it is. The people are amazing. Very direct, actually.
So much crazy cool stuff. Like you'll see all the time. Like,
I picked up Vietnamese, learned a little bit.
yeah, me too. I was like,
So
I was
reading.
conversational. You were like advanced conversational by the middle or end of.
Yeah, and
there.
how I learned is like I'm a fast language learner. So one thing would be to actually read and ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah, you're really good.
I would ask everyone about everything. I'd sit down with my mechanics and I'll be like, what is this? What is this? What is this? But Google Translate is really helpful to an extent.
No, you'll be like,
there is a flying horse coming through this wheel.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You'll be like, where's the nearest gas station? And it'll be like, your grandmother shit a watermelon. You're like, whoa, sorry. I didn't mean that's not what I meant to say.
Yeah, that's there. And after Da Nang, things got a little crazier because we went to
that alligator place, right?
Oh, that was Ninh Binh. We were in this town. We were stopping by. We ran out of gas. This was right after Da Nang. It was in Hue. We ran out of gas, and then I blew into the gas tank.
Oh my God, yes. Okay, I know exactly the time you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you kept blowing into the gas tank.
Thinking like it'll push whatever gas is in the side. It worked for like 10 miles.
Yeah.
And after that, someone towed us, like, with the little foot on the motorbike, like towing.
A lot of people don't know. So, like, when you get towed on the motorbike by somebody else, basically, they go next to you and they put their foot on your bike.
On the footrest or...
And you put your foot on their bike.
No, you don't.
You just keep your feet.
Yeah.
And then, basically, they just...
tow you like that.
Yeah, with their foot. So, this guy towed us like that, finally.
And fed us, too.
Yeah.
He fed us, bought us beer, and then we went in this hotel.
We hung out for a while.
Crazy part, the next day, I went out to get gas to get ready to leave. My phone, someone came from the back in the gas station and wrecked the back of the motorbike, and my phone fell off my pocket. I was wearing these harems. My phone fell off the pocket and literally shattered to pieces. And it was...
I remember.
Insane. I don't know how we even made it to Hanoi, but we did after that.
Well, I think...
Your phone was there, that your shit piece LG.
No, but I think my phone broke at some point, too.
Well, yours had those black spots. We could still see.
It was kind of busted.
So we got...
from the rain or something.
After that, we made one more stop in Ninh Binh.
Ninh Binh is beautiful.
Yeah, so there's all these limestone mountains. We've been there a couple of times. If you go there, definitely go on those little boats where they use their feet to pedal.
We have pictures of
that.
And that's not from this time because we didn't have her yet, but we have pictures of another time we visited there where she was on the boats and
yeah, we're gonna put up pictures of her Vietnam time. Go
Yeah.
visit us on the YouTube while you watch this podcast so you can see. It's quite nice.
Yeah, Ninh Binh is beautiful.
Yeah, and after that, finally made it to Hanoi.
And
Broke.
I think it took us
Young,
like
dumb.
2 weeks
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
I think we wanted to take longer, but we were seriously running out of money.
Yeah,
Like
we
we
were
needed to get jobs.
Yeah, we had, when we made it to Hanoi, we had $60.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And guess what? When we were in Berlin, I had a few thousand.
Well, until we used it there.
Until we use it. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know how expensive that is? We made, like, after we bought our tickets, we made like $600 or something last our whole trip all the way up to Hanoi in a few days. Then we went and stayed.
And including like finding a place and renting it in Hanoi, right?
No, we first went to that place where you teach English in exchange to stay.
Oh, yeah. Where Trey lives.
No, not that place. We didn't live there. It was this place out in Hadong. Remember the place we went to hot pot with them?
Yes,
We
and
made
they got
some
us
friends.
hot pot the first night.
Yeah, we did.
That was so fun.
But it was a little weird. There was no set schedule, and we were not set about it. So we left from there. We got an Airbnb in Long Bien, in this spot, and we were there for a month or 2 months. We have pictures from that time. You know where in Long Bien? You just go from the Long Bien Bridge on the right side. There's this Airbnb with the bamboo covered, like.
Oh, and there was a tropical storm when we first got there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there was those dogs, the Baja, next door.
We made more friends there too.
To the Airbnb, next door to the Airbnb, well, those little puppies, such cute dogs. We wanted them.
Yes, I remember.
I think we have pictures of that. I can find it somewhere.
And then we ended up getting a place in Long Bien that we lived for quite a while.
Well, yeah, we lived there for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
No, not 6 months, 4 months. Yeah.
Basically, I got a job, teaching English at a preschool.
It was hard for me to find jobs, to be honest. Vietnamese people will not discriminate really against you except for when it comes to teaching English.
Yeah.
They want a white
They're not racist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Vietnamese people are really not racist that much, but there's a strong misconception.
Being racist is relative, yes, but yeah.
Yeah, but like compared to here or like.
Yeah, we had the most of it. They never discriminated in terms of like normal day-to-day living. Right?
Yeah.
They loved me, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like all the aunties, like the Co's and Cheese were all like, oh, handsome
You
guy.
were never like in danger because of your race the way like
they used
can
to
be
call
in
me,
America.
They used to call me Thay Den.
Yeah.
Like basically means Westerner or black.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in the most loving way. There's nothing like wrong with that.
Yeah. That's just like the forwardness of Vietnamese people.
I would say, that's where I said they're very direct. You start bargaining with them, and then if they don't like that, they'll ask you to leave. Low.
Basically, for teaching English, there's just a common misconception that like white people know English the best.
Yeah.
Or something like, or just like they think that the parents want to see like a white person, or that more importantly than white also, that you have like an American or British or, you know, South African or Australian passport. Like they want to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And then bonus points if you're also white. They don't want to see somebody with like an Indian passport.
Yeah. They don't, I mean, depends if you had a degree and like all these certifications.
I mean, some
like
Indian people definitely had jobs.
Yeah.
But it was just harder.
It was definitely harder.
Like sometimes you had jobs, but they wouldn't.
Yeah, it was very inconsistent. So, we started, like you were working at this preschool. You were the head teacher there, right? And then
that was the funnest job I've ever had.
I was such cute kids.
Oh my gosh, I miss those kids. They're so big now, probably.
For privacy reasons, we won't post their pictures, of course. But.
Yeah, but seriously, every day I would go to work, and literally as soon as I get there, a mob of 2, 3, and 4-year-olds would literally be like, Missy D! Like run at me and hug me literally every single day. It's like the sweetest feeling in the world.
So, I mean, that was such a sweet little place where you worked.
Yeah.
New school. The owners
Whenever you would come and
we made
visit
murals
too,
there.
Would be like,
we made murals there. And then, so I worked in the evenings, 1 or 2 places. I was teaching like corporate people English for a little bit. They paid really well, but honestly, I'm not the best teacher. well, kids and stuff loved me, but
Yeah.
there was this one place I was working at. They didn't want parents to see me.
Yeah.
You could guess why.
Yeah.
No hard feelings though. It felt bad, but no hard feelings. Paid me the money because they pay you $20-$30 an hour, whereas it's kind of sucks because the local Vietnamese people get paid like 10% of that.
Yeah.
All right, they're getting paid $2-3
For the
$4,
same job. Yeah.
for the same job. Now, if you got $4 or $5 an hour, you were a baller,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because a
So
meal
you can
is
imagine.
$1.
So how much
I mean, our
expats
rent
were
was
balling.
like $180 at that room we got in Long Bien.
Yeah, and when we got our studio apartment, like right on the lake, it was like 200.
This was after, so there was a reason why that all started. So I decided one random day to just be like, you know what? I feel like there's not a lot of healthy meals delivered to your home. You have to go out, spend time at restaurants, and do all of that.
Yeah, meal plan service wasn't really a thing.
Wasn't
in
a
Hanoi.
thing, and I was like, I'm gonna start that. So Hanoi has a really big expat community.
Hanoi Massive.
Hanoi Massive is a Facebook group. Like, so you post things in there. There's a lot of drama in there too, actually.
But like 80,000 people are probably going to
Yeah.
post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I decided, made a menu, put it up on there. Next day, we had like, how many orders? Like
I don't know, like 5?
5, 10. I don't know. We worked
You were
all day.
cooking. Yeah, we were cooking.
We were
like
cooking,
crazy.
and then we decided, like, in that business, we were not really that compatible.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I had control issues there.
We would just fight. And,
We just fight a little
and it's
bit.
also like, yeah, we don't really cook together, like in regular life too, because
We sometimes do.
you are such a like kitchen queen. You're just like, do it my way, get the fuck out. Like, and I also don't like being told. So we usually cook separately.
Yeah, I want to do everything, maybe not the easiest way.
Yeah. You want to do things the way that you think is going to be the best.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
I need it to be traditional regardless.
Yeah.
I'm not.
You're a
gonna
better
just-
cook than me,
Yeah. It's
especially
true.
now. But at that time, you were a good cook too.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically the service popped off.
So it was
And-
popped off, and then
yeah.
what had happened is because we were making those meals and we had to deliver them too. And one of the cool things we did is like a return service where I would give them, to not have any plastic waste of styrofoam or foam or any of that. It was boxes that you could return to me washed, and I get you a deposit back.
Yeah.
So that is one of the things I'm quite proud of it. I started that
Yeah.
in Hanoi, and it became big after that.
Yeah.
Now there's a bunch of companies doing that. People don't even know I was the one who started it.
Yeah.
I mean, I still get messages from some people. Are you still in service or something? I'm like, no. But yeah, so we had to go deliver food the first night, and we made such a mess. I mean,
Oh,
we
yeah.
cleaned as we went, but still we couldn't. Like,
There was
we
still
have,
like
like,
100 meals
so
cooked in the
basically
kitchen.
we were doing
so-
like 6 or 9 meals delivered to you, and we did it the hard way before we learned that we could just put it on the Grab taxi and just send it,
Yeah.
which I started doing later on. And then we went to deliver it, and the maid came in. She took pictures of it and sent it to the landlord.
The landlord kicked us out.
The landlord,
Even though our roommates, like, we didn't know there was a maid coming. So
Yeah.
we weren't trying to leave that for her. We didn't know about that. But we had told all our roommates, like, don't worry, we're going to be back in like an hour and we're going to clean this up. And they were all like, no problem. So, and we were really good friends with our roommates at that point too. Well,
Yeah.
half of them, and yeah, she saw those pictures and she just gave us like a week to get out.
Yeah, so we didn't cook there after that. We got out and we got a cute studio apartment in Hanoi.
Yes,
in
I miss that
Taiho,
place actually. Besides, there
overlooking the lake. That is such a beautiful spot. We got a studio apartment. Guess what? The kitchen in that studio apartment
was this big.
So this,
Like
it was an L-shaped kitchen with a sink, stove, and a little bit of counter space in the corner. Like, Vietnamese people have a lot of outdoor kitchens. They really do cook outdoors because they're doing high heat stuff with woks and everything. So a lot of homes have outdoor kitchens, makeshift or nice ones. Indoor kitchens are not that big.
Also, it's really common to eat out.
It's really common to eat out, but
like because it's so accessible and
yeah, I think eating at home is more expensive there. So that's where I offered that's where like the market was to offer people this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it took off. We were doing well, but I actually burnt myself out.
Oh yeah, because you would be like cooking so many hours.
I
You
think
would
the
just be
record
tired.
was 160 boxes of food in a day.
Yeah, and I
That
remember
was a
one
lot.
time, like you were cleaning up afterwards until like 4 a.m.
a.m. Yep.
That was
was the
pretty
time
brutal.
where I did the 160 meal.
And then I think you were like, okay, this is.
Yeah, it was insane.
That kitchen was just too small.
But
while we lived there is when we got off.
yes, going back to op. So I wanted to find you a present as a dog. So there was this post I saw about a husky for adoption because it had parvovirus and no one wanted to take it.
And he
It
knew
was a
that I
husky
had
puppy.
like a childhood dream of having a husky. Not that I know.
Yeah, it was a red husky too.
Yeah, not that I know anything about like having a husky, but I just thought they're like wolves, so I wanted one.
Yeah.
But basically you had told me like I'm getting you a surprise or something.
No, yeah, well then you started sneaking on my phone. I was talking to yes, you did because she cannot wait to find out what I'm gonna do for her.
Yeah, no.
So these days I don't do anything for her.
That's
kidding,
a
I
lie. He does a lot.
I mean, I just brought this pretty outfit 2 days ago.
So anyway, somehow, allegedly, whatever, I found out that you had a surprise for me. And I was like, what is it? What is it? What is it? I was so psychotic about this. I would like wake him up at like 4 a.m. and I would just be like trying to catch him off guard. I'd be like, what's my surprise? Like we would just be in the middle of conversation. I'd be, what's my surprise, babe? Like just try to like catch him off guard to tell me, and he wouldn't tell me. And this went on for like over a week.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day you finally wore down and told me what it was. And I messed it up for myself, but it was meant to be. So I basically...
I was talking to Queen.
Uh-huh.
Quinn was the owner of is the owner of Hanoi Pet Adoption. It is
Please support them if they're still going.
They are.
Okay.
They have a huge following on Facebook, Instagram.
Yeah. If you live in Hanoi and you want a dog, go to her.
Yeah. So
Seriously.
you'll see some pictures she took of us with Op as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was in contact with Quinn. You found out. So we went to the shelter. It's called Hanoi Pet Adoption. Unfortunately, there's a lot of like dogs like this who are status species, and a lot of people don't know how to take care of it, or whatever happens.
Yeah, well, whatever happened with Op, she's paralyzed from the waist down.
That's why you see this little hump on her.
Yeah, she has her little her little snail hump.
She's giving the stankiest face.
So basically, after she was paralyzed, they left her at Queen's place.
Yeah, and we went there, and it was so cute. She started jumping in the cage.
Oh my God.
We took this other fluffy dog out for a walk,
cute.
remember?
Yeah, but no.
Well, it was like a doodle poodle, whatever it was.
Something. So like at first we just walked upstairs and Op was in her cage and she just started jumping. As soon as she was jumping so high. I've never seen her jump that high still. And literally stole our hearts immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
She's the second most favorite dog I've ever had. No, she's tied actually.
Yeah, with Olive.
Olive, my dog for 13 years.
And Op means snail, by the way, in Vietnamese. That's the name that Queen had give her.
Yeah, it means snail in Vietnamese, which is very accurate for her, the way she scoots around.
Yeah.
So yeah, we adopted her.
We can add a video of how she scoots around and stuff.
We adopted her, gave them a $40 fee for adoption, which is great. That's actually so
Remember
reasonable.
we called your mom from the shelter and your mom was like, Kitten cute, like, please adopt her. God will give you so many blessings.
Yeah. And we adopted her, and after that, Quinn came through to check on her. And then took these amazing pictures. You can see it up on the screen. And we're just in love. I made her a little wheelchair.
Yeah.
Couple of those actually.
We actually went around the same day and got all the things for the wheelchair.
Oh, we went crazy. Me at a
Yeah.
pet store is like candy
it's
shop.
dangerous. Yeah.
It's dangerous. I will spend all the money I have in the world for these animals.
Yeah. And Op is a legend. Basically, like, she's more famous than anyone. And
So, I mean, it was definitely a learning curve. We didn't know how to take care of her. She's the happiest camper. She's been to how many countries now? I mean,
like 6?
7? I don't know. Many.
Yeah.
She has less of a problem in immigration than I do. Remember in Thailand, 2 days sent me back into Cambodia to get that hotel thing booked when we were passing through the land border, but they let you and her in.
I think they took $5 or something. Or Cambodia was the one that took $5 to let her in.
Cambodia was easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
We had done all this stuff to get her papers ready and everything.
But Cambodia is like $5.
Yeah. You have a dog? $5. I'm like, $5? Hell yeah.
But we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how we got up. I want to take a moment, so while you guys are here and we have your attention.
Yes.
Well, since this is our Cloud Pink podcast, we have to talk a little bit about the beautiful products we make. Here I have the Hairspell shampoo. So this has, plant-based surfactants. It's amazing. And the smell, actually, if you didn't know, in this, I don't think I've ever told you this, perfumes always have a story when I make them. The essence in this is very light, but it's inspired by the tropics of Vietnam.
Ooh.
Yes, so when you open and smell it, that's why
Yeah.
it's oranges and like durian a little bit, but not in a bad way, of course.
It's very
Minty.
natural. Like, I always feel like whenever I end up using a different shampoo or conditioner, it feels like the vibration just isn't there compared to this.
Yeah,
and that's
and
part of why
then
it's called Hairspell. 'cause
I will
it's
show you
magic.
this. Maybe I'll walk up close.
Here, bring this
Look at this cute packaging too. It's all designed by us. There's the shampoo and conditioner. So here is Thea's Essence branding. It's as we speak, we're upgrading.
Tell the people more about like what's in it, like
Yeah, we have like things like aloe, kelp,
pomegranate fruit juice.
pomegranate.
What does that do?
Well, it's hydrating. It's good for your hair. And this conditioner is actually like very pH balanced. So if you're struggling with dandruff and stuff, try to use this regularly. You'll feel good about it.
Also, it does work for all hair types, and we have talked to people from like with every different hair type that everyone has said my hair's never felt better.
Yeah,
than what
and
this
the
is.
curliest of the curly hairs will bounce with this. It's amazing. I did that in mine. So my hair looks straight, but really it's actually quite wavy.
No, it doesn't look straight.
Kind of straight in America,
wavy.
but when I'm in my natural habitat of the tropics, my hair is like quite wavy. So yeah, with that in mind, we designed these so we're cruelty-free, certified. And yeah, I just want to take a moment to talk about it. Please check us out. Check our products out. We're revamping to Cloud Pink. So in that occasion, use the code podcast on our website, theasessence.com. I'll link it in the bio and get 10% off since you came from our podcast. It's a tough time with all the tariffs and stuff, but we're keeping it going. We're trying to be reasonable as much as we can. All of this is handmade beautifully for you.
Yes. Oh my God. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys so much for being here, sticking around till the end of the episode. Next week, we have a guest actually, but make sure to tune in for that one. And then we're going to get back into our story.
Nice episode.
Yeah, after that. So
yeah, and please make sure to subscribe, like, share. We're on TikTok now at Cloud Pink Podcast.
Please.
Stitch our videos when we get out with at Cloud Pink Podcast on TikTok. Cloud Pink Beauty for our supplies. Same on Instagram. Check us out. You can shop directly on Instagram as well if that's convenient.
And Thea's Essence.
We have more products rolling out little by little. Currently, there's a little bit of a wait time, but please check us out. Thanks for supporting us and being here.
Bye.